Winter maintenance, teamwork for clean water. Welcome to part 2. Now for a look at what some Northeast metro cities are doing to balance safety and water quality. First, there's application rates and calibration of vehicles.
White Bear Township undertakes several measures to reduce their salt usage on the road each winter season. They start with calibrating all the vehicles for application rates.
These are what we use, these dials right here on our sander, on our armrest. This one here will actually change on how you broadcast the salt. This is for our spinner on the backside of the truck. When you start slowing down, the auger itself will start slowing down as well and still remain putting out the same constant application, whatever you set it for.
Apply de-icer according to temperature.
What we do is we try to set our sanders according to what we see for both air and road temperatures. And there's a sensor over on the mirror over here, which is that silver box, and that gives us the capability of seeing what the road temperature and air temperature are doing. You know, when it gets warmer, you use a lot less salt than when it's colder out. You actually put it down a little bit heavier and you try to concentrate it, versus when it's warmer, you can actually broadcast it just slightly so you don't get the accumulation, because a warmer day, the salt will burn through the snow or the ice pack and go directly to the ground, and then things will melt around it, and that's when you see unmelted salt crystals sitting around there, which that was an improper placement of salt.
How do cities stay up to date?
The operators are trained and attend training, and here's just one example: the APW Winter Maintenance Supervisor Training, and then the MPCA and the local watersheds offer training for staff to discuss and educate on application rates, conscious use of salt to improve water quality.
What is a brine?
We have started this year here in Vadnais Heights with using brine, which is a solution that keeps the snow from bonding to the pavement. So we do that kind of before the storm hits. We watch the weather, we watch the forecast to determine when's the best time to deploy it.
How much salt does a truck hold?
When we fill up our trucks, every snow event we go out on, it's approximately 50 tons to fill all 6 trucks up with salt. And out of that 50 tons of salt, generally the trucks are coming back with about a third to maybe half the salt. When we load up a truck with salt, it doesn't mean that that truck is going out using the whole entire load. That load is used for weight, for traction when he's plowing the roads.
Using the right tool in the right place reduces salt in sensitive areas, such as storm drain.
White Bear Township, one of our tools in toolbox, we use pickup trucks to plow our cul-de-sacs and trails. The plows that we use on our 1-ton pickup trucks, we have the capability of pushing and plowing snow, scooping it up and putting it to where we can get it away from the storm drains or away from driveways to make it easier for the snow removal in those areas. A lot of times when not available, we will use a big truck, but preferably we use a small 9-foot plows, which they call V plows, which can shape into a scoop and push it snow into certain areas where we need to keep the snow and keep the cul-de-sacs clear, so we do not use salt for water quality purposes to keep the chlorides out of the water drainage system.
How do cities strategize their operations?
You know, usually we try to critique everybody after a snow event. We'll have a meeting and go over how everything turned out. So I will drive around the city streets and look at different routes and see what it looks like. Our superintendent will do the same thing. And at that time, we'll have a little meeting and discuss how we thought that the snow event went, and if people were using a little too much salt or maybe not enough salt, and how the plowing went. And that's usually how we wrap up every snow event. And
how can residents help cities be efficient, stay safe, and improve their environmental impact?
A lot of residents, what they do is they may have a kids at home that drive, they park their cars out the street, or they think they're doing themselves a favor by parking their car behind their driveway. So when we come around as plow operators, we don't put as much snow in the driveway. What it turns out to happen, since we can't plow curb to curb, they move their cars. You still have that big windrow of snow around there. They don't always move the snow. We have to go back there the next day. For the city, it's more of a cost of the city. We end up burning more fuel, wear and tear on the equipment, and sometimes we even have to put more salt down depending on where the car was. And so we're throwing more salt down than we normally would if we would have just done it the first time if the cars were off the street. Same thing with the trash cans. We have a new garbage company in our city, and they have the automatic arms, the automated, where they'll actually reach out 5 to 6 feet. And our ordinances here in the city are you're supposed to have your trash can behind your curb on your property. If they're not out in the street like they have been lately, we don't have to go around those trash cans, which again, we can't get to that curb line. We have to come back and replow. And if they fall over, the garbage company, they have to pick up the trash cans. It slows them down, it slows us down, and it does, it's not good for anybody. So if the residents can make sure their cars, trash cans, anything in the road, make sure it's off the road so we can do it one time, and that would actually save money for the whole entire city, which could reduce taxes and better for the environment too, because you're plowing and salting one time only.
Ice dams made by plows going around cars and trash cans are also a hazard should a water main freeze or break.
The other big problem we have is people following too close to us when we're plowing, or when we have to turn around at an intersection or we come out onto another road to turn around. To go back the other way, you have to stop by law. It's a state law because we're considered emergency vehicles when we're removing snow. You can get a ticket for that. And then the other thing, when you're shoveling your driveway, shovel your snow to the right side of your driveway or downstream when you're looking at from your driveway out to the road. Would be another good thing for us to make our plowing operations easier.
Residents can do several things to help us be efficient in our snow plowing efforts. Number one certainly is to obey all of our parking regulations. Number two, I would ask that they not push snow off their own property and out into the street. We occasionally see evidence of people who will either snow blow their snow out into the road or will actually push it out with their own driveway plow. That actually is against state regulation to do so. You can't push snow onto a public right-of-way. Another thing residents could do that would help us would be to give our trucks, our equipment, plenty of room to operate. Don't follow too closely. If you see someone making a maneuver, say in a cul-de-sac or at a intersection, stop, give them plenty of room to make their turn and get out of your way. It would be safer for our plow driver and most importantly for you.
Another concern we have as plow drivers and operators is kids playing out in their snow forts and snow tunnels in the road right away, in snow banks and cul-de-sacs. We as plow operators are not aware if there are kids out in there playing unless we see them. It is wise for parents to be aware after a snow event or during a snow event. Plow operators may be out plowing roads or treating roads and not be aware of children in their tunnels and forts playing. So it is safe to keep them away from those areas until the roads are cleared and plowed.
In summary, follow parking and trash can regulations. Stay back 10 car lengths away from plows. Pile driveway snow on the right side of the driveway when facing the street to prevent ice buildup during thaw-refreeze cycles and to make space for the next snow event. Never shovel or blow snow into the street. Keep kids away from snowbanks during a snow event and right after a snow event until the roads have been plowed. If anything is clear, it's that we're all in this together. With cooperation and support, cities are able to improve their efficiency. When working efficiently, staff can pursue extra training, research, and try new methods and technology. Not only does a team effort maximize safety and save money, but allows all of us to be a part of protecting and improving our water resources for the future. White Bear Lake, White Bear Township, and Vadnais Heights overlap 3 different watersheds. Visit their website to find out which one is your watershed.